Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are doing the heavily awaited 5th studio album by Björk, titled Medulla. I'm really excited. This is maybe the most excited I've been to listen to a Björk album yet. I feel like that's just because I've been listening to so much Björk since I reacted to Vespertine. I've gotten to really love her so much, and even more than I did whenever I first listened to Homogenic and Vespertine. You know, the fact that I've kind of sat with these 4 albums that I've heard so far for a little bit of time has really made me appreciate everything that I've heard so far. So, 5th studio album, I've had time to take in everything that I've heard from Björk thus far, and I'm just really excited. I have heard that this album is unique in the fact that it is all sounds created by vocals. So all of the drums or whatever in this album, the instrumentation as a whole, whatever you may hear, is done by the voice. So I don't know how that means for, basses and synth and stuff like that. Because that's what I've heard, and that sounds very unique, and I'm wondering how this whole album will sound with a majority of this being that way. Let's dive into Medulla. 14 tracks, 45 minutes long. Pleasure Is All Mine is track number 1 on this album. Whew. This feels weird. This feels like a new era that I'm entering. Not just a new album, but a new era in general that I'm entering for Björk. This is really exciting. Okay, breathing.
The pleasure is all mine to get to be.
Stance. I like her pronunciation of that. Dude, these backing vocals are so good. Oh, wow. Oh, that note. Dude, this section is great. So good. Dude, the breathing is so sick. You know what it sounds like to me? And I know, like, because I'm from Canada, so it sounds like this kind of, almost these indigenous sounding vocals, that, like, are very, very, like, interesting sounding, the deep grumbles. And I feel like that's what we're hearing on this first track. I know Iceland has kind of this, it's Arctic focused as well, kind of like most of Canada. So I'm wondering if that is kind of like what she was going for here with this indigenous sounding vocals from like wherever, parts of Greenland, Alaska, like she got someone to do that kind of vocals. That is really cool. I really like that she added that because yeah, as a Canadian, I do like seeing Indigenous representation into music. And Björk doing it is super, super sick.
is all mine. Women like us, we strengthen most.
The lyrics are so good. I love there's some like added church-like vocals now that are like darker. Dude. This is an insane opener. This is a fantastic opener. Dude, her vocal performance on this is like kind of none other than I've heard it before. Oh my goodness. I'm blown away by this first intro already. Dude, that was insane. That was insane. I wanted to kind of touch on the lyrics because I am watching the lyrics as the song is going on, and the topic of this is in the back half of the song she says, "Who gives most?" I love that section. She repeats "who gives most" 3 times. Thought that was gorgeous what she did with her vocals there. The pleasure is all mine. Women like us, we strengthen most. Hosts like, when in doubt, give. So it's like a maternal song, basically. You know, how they strengthen people, how they, you know, carry. They are the host. Let me look at the lyrics kind of from earlier too. The generous one is the strongest stance. These lyrics are really, really good. Opening track, a crazy opener. A crazy opener in one of the best vocally stunning tracks that I think Björk has really done. Different from some of her albums, but very, very good. Show Me Forgiveness is track number 2.
Show me forgiveness for having lost faith.
So sad, dude.
In myself and let my own
This is a shorter one. Something about the mixing of this is a little different too.
Is endless, but if soon start forgiveness, that girl might
Damn, bro.
live. I'll say my share.
Was that Icelandic? It did not show as a lyric on my lyric page. Oh, you sing it. That was fully a cappella. That was fully a cappella too. That was gorgeous. Maybe a good like separator from Pleasure Is All Mine to Where Is the Line? Maybe kind of thing. But that was really good. That was really good. Vocally stunning. The lyricism went from, you know, in the opening track being kind of maternal to being kind of sad. Show me forgiveness for having lost faith in myself. But if soon start forgiveness, the girl might live. Roller coaster of emotions right now. Where Is the Line is track 3. Off to a really good start. Great start. I do like how these darker vocals also create kind of a bass. And I think that's smart. I think this is smart. The darker vocals, the lower or darker vocals that she used also in Pleasure Is All Mine kind of give this song like a bass as well. So it's not just vocals, but they create this underlying kind of line under her vocals, which is probably intentional. But really, really like this addition of vocals.
I'm with you.
Oh,
Purse wide open.
damn!
Ask again. I see the crime and cash into accounts everywhere.
You tell him, bro.
Where is
I see you trying to do this.
Where is the line with you? Where is the line with you? Where is the line with you?
Wow. The switch up from what I thought was actually going to happen in this track.
To be flexible,
I like that run. It's like beatboxing a little bit. Holy shit. Oh, I love the vocal effects on her voice there. I love this hook. That underlying vocal underneath hers is good. Go off, beat. Shit. What a fun produced track. Dude, that run in the hook is really good. Oh my. I'm so confused. I was not expecting a track like this to be on this album. Go Off production, one of a crazy produced song, by the way. The production on this is crazy. This is an insanely hooky song. I don't know what it is. Like, even more on some of her earlier albums. Wow. That is my favorite one yet, for sure. That is my favorite one yet. The production on that was very, very heavy. I was not expecting to get a track like that on this album, I will say. I'm kind of blown away with that track. I need like a kind of a moment to give that track its flowers a little bit. I like the lyricism in this one too. Repeated in that hook, which I thought is very, very catchy. One of her, like, off the top of my head, it's one of the few songs that I find insanely catchy right off the bat. I basically like feel like she's trying to say like, what won't you do? Like, is there any separation from what you won't do? Like, how far will it go from you trying to fuck me over? First verse is my purse wide open. You ask again. I see you trying to cash into accounts everywhere. You're like trying to be sly, trying to be a stealer, but it's not working. Then she gets a little vulnerable too. I want to be flexible. I want to go out of my way for you, but enough is enough. You tell him. And I really like that about her. She's standing her ground, kind of angry, and the production showcases kind of that angriness. But the beatboxing in that, dude, so clever. So clever. We need more songs with kind of beatboxing in general. I think it's such a cool thing that people can do, and it's not necessarily showcased enough at all. Vokuro is track number 4. It's going to be hard to follow those first 3 up. I'm really impressed. I am really impressed. This is an Icelandic track.
Bærin minn og þinn sefur sæll í kyrrð fellur mjöll hljótt í húma.
That is interesting. I'm just looking at the lyrics now, and I'm like trying to pick apart the intricacies of the Icelandic languages, and the Icelandic language, sorry. And I see this double L, and she's almost making like a sound. Like, this is my linguistics kind of interest coming to play here, but like I see her making this sound whenever I see this double L. That is interesting. Cool, but I never would have thought it made that sound.
Grasið mitt og þitt geymir mold til vors. Hjúfrar lind, leynd við brekkurót, vakir eins og við. Lífið trútt, kyrrlát kalda vermst, augum djúps út í himinn fyrð starir stillt nótt.
Wow.
Langt í burt vakir veröld stór.
I love when she rolls her R's.
Trillt. Eyrðarlaus, óttast nótt og dag. Augu þín, óttalaus og hrein, brosa við mér björt. Vonin mín, blessað brosið þitt, vekur ljóð úr værð. Hvílist jörð
I could 100% fall asleep to this.
í armum
Dude, this is gorgeous.
Lilju hvít, lokar augum blám, litla stúlkan mín.
Wow, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. And I mean, if I'm recalling correctly, this is like one of the first times that like she is sung fully in Icelandic. Maybe I'm just remembering incorrectly, but like that's one of the first times where I can recall like a full track being in Icelandic, and I love that. I wish she would do that more. But I was just searching about what the song was about, obviously because I can't understand the lyrics. But it says this song title, vokuro, translates to the calm of being awake or wakefulness. Is a haunting choral lullaby featured on Medulla. Unlike most of her work, Björk didn't write the song. It is a traditional sounding Icelandic art song composed in 1967 by Jorun, I'm going to butcher his name, Vithar, I don't know, with lyrics from a poem by somebody else. Wow. I mean, that was very haunting. Very like lullaby like, something I can fall asleep to. Absolutely gorgeous. An amazing one. Moving on to track number 5, Ulbirtan. I'm sorry. These names are messing me up. Also in Icelandic. Okay. Wow, very busy vocals. A lot of things just everywhere. It's just like, feels like not even words, but like noises so far. This is very interesting. I love the toot-toot. That's so sick. Sing it! Oh, she's like screaming. Love that. One of my favorite things is when she screams and really gets into the track. That was also a really nice track. It felt more chaotic than the previous one, although they were mostly all like a cappella with, you know, backing vocals. But that one was, yeah, definitely more chaotic. Also all in Icelandic. This translates to all the brightness or all the light. So this one, I guess, seems to be about light compared to the other one kind of being about, I don't know, something totally opposite, about maybe being asleep or something like that. A sleepier, darker track. Song is about breaking down walls, opening up spaces, and letting brightness and clarity inside. That is really pretty. That is really pretty. I really enjoyed those two tracks. I think this one I'm going to need more time with. It just felt more kind of chaotic and, I don't know, less organized compared to the previous one. I still enjoyed it, but this is the first one where I'm like, I'm probably going to need more time with, and I don't pick as kind of an immediate favorite. But moving on to track number 7, or 6, actually. Who is it? Carry My Joy on the left, Carry My Pain on the right. Interesting title. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Embrace a fortress. It fuels me and places a skeleton of trust.
Oh shit. already I needed to stop the song to kind of pick apart things that were going on. It sounds like there's like a fucking animal in the back kind of like roaring at me. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it sounded like it to me. There's like water dripping in the background. There's so many interesting stylistic effects happening in this song. And then the beat picks up, which I wasn't expecting at all. I'm already in love with this track. I'm just going to rewind so I can get back on track here.
Embrace a fortress. It fuels me.
This is such a sick instrumental already.
A skeleton of trust. Right
Hey.
bone by bone, stone by stone. If you ask yourself patiently and carefully, who is it? Who is it? Who is it that never let you down? Who is it that gave you back your crown? And the ornaments are, they're going around. Now we're handing it over, they're handing it over, handing it over.
This is very interesting so far. This is like weirdly melodic. You know what I mean? It has a structure, especially in this hook, as a regular like pop song, which is interesting for Björk because normally her hook melodies aren't kind of like this. And I'm not saying one or the other is better than the other. But I thought this was interesting because this is one of like the very few times where I'm like, damn, this actually feels like a more poppy structure compared to anything I've ever heard from her. Which is really interesting. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was interesting.
Who is it that never let you down? Who is it that gave you back your crown?
Huge fan of this beat.
Ornaments are, they're going around. Now they're handing it over, handing it over.
Damn. There's the beatboxing in there again. That's so good. Wow.
He demands our closeness. We all have earned a likeness. Carry my joy on the left. Carry my pain on the right. If you ask yourself now patiently and carefully, who is it? Who is it that never let you down? Who is it that gave you back your crown? And your ornaments are, they're going around. And I'm handing it over, handing it over, handing. Who is it?
Wow, this hook, bro.
that never let
What an
you
interesting chorus.
Who is it that gave you back your crown? And the ornaments are
Super catchy.
around. Now I'm handing it over, handing it over.
What a flawless track. One of my favorites so far as well. What a different hook for Björk that I absolutely love. The production, the stylistic effects with the beatboxing and everything. This is a 10 out of 10 out of 10. Okay, 3 10s. 10 out of 10 track. Wow. This like little breakdown too with just the beatboxing is really, really nice. Sick track. That's up there with one of my favorites. Where's the Line is good too. Pleasure is All Mine. A lot of standouts so far. A lot of standouts. Okay, Submarine. There we go. This feels like it's gonna be like a sea shanty song, like a dark sea shanty song. I don't know. It could be. Whose vocals are these? What is this song about? Layers on these. Oh.
Shake us out of the heavy, deep sleep. Shake us now. Do it.
What is going on in the back there?
Do it now.
Dude.
Shake us.
It's almost got this jazzy feel. You get that? It's almost jazzy.
Sleep. Do it now.
What an interesting song. I love these darker vocals. Wow. Something about this is just so spooky to me. It just feels like the deep waters, you know? Again, I don't know if it was intentional, but for me, I'm definitely getting that vibe. Just feels so eerie, like you don't know what is lurking. Wow. What an interesting track. That is one of the more interesting tracks on this album. At least so far. Damn. Even with the lyrics, I still don't really overly mean with all of this. Bjork uses the submarine as a metaphor for the hidden, submerged part of her mind that writes music, urging herself to capture fleeting ideas before they vanish back in the deep. Okay, I was kind of just unsure about, you know, they're not exactly talking about a submarine, but it kind of feels, you know. Really cool. Really cool. And I love the male vocals as well, how they kind of took over the song. Really thought that was cool. Really, really cool. Track number 8, Desired Constellation. I've heard a lot of good things about this one, actually. Wow. It does feel like I'm in space. This is really cool.
It's tricky when you feel someone has done something on your behalf. It's slippery when your sense of justice murmurs underneath
hypnotic. That's how this song feels to me. Ooh, I thought we were gonna do like a
With
clubby breakdown for a second.
a palm full of stars, I throw them like dice repeatedly on the table. Repeatedly, I shake them like dice and throw them on the table. Repeatedly, until the desired constellation appears. Am I going to make it right?
I love this. I love this. Especially this section. Just the imagery on this track alone.
Am I going to make it right? Did you hear how am I going to make it right? How am I going to make it right?
Oh, that sounds like it hurts. The growl. Fuck yeah. Dude. This is incredible. This is an incredible track. Just that sparkly, like, synth that is just constantly uttering in the background, like... It's a huge part of the song, but it's not the only thing, but it just really adds to all the elements in this song. It really feels like, you know those TikToks where, like, really vivid dreams that you have of, like, a place that is very familiar to you? That almost feels like nostalgic and back roomy, you know what I mean? So it's a little eerie in that sense. This is what this song reminds me of for whatever reason, but I really enjoy this. It feels like space. It absolutely does. The climax of this song, how am I going to make it right? This is so good. And then the first two lines of this track are really, really good too. It's tricky when you feel someone has done something on your behalf. I don't know if that's exactly what she said. I think my lyrics are a tad bit wrong. It's slippery when your sense of justice murmurs underneath and is asking you, how am I going to make it right? This one, man. This one. Okay, track number 9. Oceania.
One breath away from Mother Oceania, your nimble feet make prints in my sand. You have done good.
There's the beatboxing again, bro.
Yourselves, since you left my wet embrace and crawled ashore. Every boy is a snake, is a lily. Every pearl is a lynx, is a
Ooh, I like this change in beat.
I see the islands.
That was sick.
You count the centuries. I blink my eyes, hooks and spines. Rays in my waters, stingrays are floating across the sky. Little ones, my sons and my daughters.
I love this.
Your sweat is salty. I am
I love that. That is so cool.
I am white. I am white. Your sweat is salty. I am white. I am white. I am white.
What an amazing track. I love the beatboxing this one too. Less chaotic production, but I like it. I like it. Wow. What a great track. We're on a roll here with that one. I'm gonna have to watch the music video for this track. That would be very nice. This song was released as a promo for this album, and the track was written for the 2004 Summer Olympics opening ceremony, where she performed it immediately following the Parade of Nations. Basically, the Olympics people asked me to do a kind of Ebony and Ivory or We Are the World type song. She says, those are smashing tunes and all that, but I thought maybe there's another angle to this. I think because the song is all about how the ocean doesn't see boundaries between countries and thinks everyone is the same. What an interesting topic for a track, and perfect for the Olympics. I think that was very clever on her part. But another great one there. Not my favorite yet, but still a standout to me. Track 10 is Sonnets / Unrealities. I don't know what that one is. XI? What is that one? What is that one? I don't know.
It may not always be so. And I say, and if your lips, which I have loved, should touch another's, and your dear strong fingers clutch her heart, as mine in
Heart.
time not far away. If on another's face your sweet hair lay, in such a silence as I know, or such great rising words as uttering over match, stand helplessly before the spirit at bay. If this should be, I say, if this should be you of my heart, send me
I love how she says heart. It's so good.
I may go unto her and take her hands, saying, accept all happiness from me. Then I shall turn my face.
The choir in this is killing
and
it.
hear one
The choir
voice
in this album is
sing
killing it, but in particular this song.
far in the lost lands.
Is it that short? Damn it, I wish I was longer. It didn't even feel 2 minutes, to be honest. I was really enjoying that one, and I feel like it just, like, flew by. Really fun track. Really fun track. Anyways, that was really good, though. Really good. Really good follow-up from Oceania. This one is apparently all, like, all throat singing. So no lyrics in this one, which is going to be really cool. Because I know we got it in the first track, but I don't know if we've got it since. But I love it. I love it. The piano in this, dude. Or maybe they are lyrics, but I don't see any on Genius. This with the piano is really sick. That's just so sick how someone is able to do that with their throat and their voice. Wow. What a track. Dude, what a track. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. We move on to Mouth's Cradle now. Ooh, this sounds very bubbly. Very interesting. Like that bright kind of sound. Ooh.
There is yet a his teeth. I led her up to his mouth, all his teeth. I led her that I walk, that you can walk too. If you want up to the mouth's cradle, up to that mouth's cradle.
Ooh, I love the vocal mixing.
A hope for me, always sees me when nothing else, and everyone I laugh can tell that goes is brighter than anyone, and who fails me with hope, those beams assure me. And you can use these teeth as I ladder up to the mouth's cradle, the mouth's cradle. And you can follow these notes I'm singing up to the mouth's cradle, the mouth's cradle. The simplicity of the ghost-like beast, the purity of what it wants and where it goes. Always loves you, always loves with infrared love. And you can use those teeth
What?
as a ladder up to mouth's cradle, mouth's cradle. You can use those teeth, follow my voice to up to the mouth's cradle, the mouth's cradle.
Just wait to the outro. I'll talk about it.
And you shelter to build an altar from your oceania and bushes.
Wow.
You shelter to build an altar away from your oceania and bushes.
Dude, that's a fantastic one. That is a fantastic one. Wow. What an interesting track. Now, I wanted to just... I saw the lyrics in the outro. She says, I need a shelter to build an altar away from all Osamas and bushes. I need a shelter to build an altar away from all Osamas and bushes. So that made me kind of want to go back earlier in the lyrics. But I don't know if it's just the whole song is about that meaning or just the end. But it's about breastfeeding, which I don't know if I necessarily got that when reading the lyrics. But I guess I should have. This tooth is warmth-like. Which that is really, really cute. It conveys the warmth and bond she feels for her baby at the time, when and thanks to breastfeeding. And then the end. Because this album is post 9/11. This came out in 2004. I believe 9/11 would have just happened before, or shortly after Vespertine, right? Because it was released in August. So that is interesting. But I actually do want to read this. Obviously, the line about Osamas and bushes was a bad joke, but I guess it's sort of partly true because it interests me a lot with Western civilization that someone as passionate as Osama could be such a threat, and it seemed to me at times to be almost passion versus logic. I found it really interesting that it could be so ununderstandable for some people that somebody would do something like that, and how unaware the Western civilization were of how annoying they are sometimes. I'm obviously not justifying what he did, but after that it just totally took over. It was all about Arabs and Americans, and if you were pro or against or whatever, it just seems curious to me, where obviously both were right and wrong. It seems like the whole world has been talking about it for the last 3 years, not only me. All unbelievable people are suddenly interested in politics. And maybe me in the end wanting my music to offer something else and saying, I want to look for a shelter with an altar away from the osamas and bushes. And maybe these politicians that think that they are 95% of our lives and that we should all just worry about if Bush gets reelected or not and what's going to happen to the Muslims or whatever. And I think it's about 5% important and 95% is like children going to school, the latest breakdancer, people starving and people losing their jobs, and people telling awful jokes and all these other stuff, you know. People in space and jellyfishes in the ocean having affairs with other jellyfishes. I'm inventing marinal soap operas here. Sorry, but there's just a lot of other stuff, and it just got boring after a while. So maybe this record is partly an attempt to say, wait a minute, there's other stuff out there, you know. Very interesting. I wanted to actually read that because I wanted to see what her outlook was, you know, obviously because I was not born at this time, what the outlook was at that time. And I feel like that last line is really intriguing to me. I don't know if anyone else is intrigued with that last line, but I totally get what she's saying there. And then kind of an interesting, you know, part to include when it's a song about breastfeeding, and then the outro is about that. Kind of an interesting 1-2 punch in terms of like contrast with lyricism. But talking about the song now, I really, really enjoyed that one. The choir went off. Love the hook of that one. Absolutely a standout for me. So we have 2 tracks left. Track 13 being only 1 minute and 24 seconds, and then the outro. This one is Midvikodags. Midvikodags. Is it a D? Or is it more closer to like a Midvikodags? I don't know how you pronounce it. This is also, I believe, fully instrumental. Feels like this almost has a jazzy feel as well. I wonder if this is going to set up Triumph of a Heart, like a transition. Wow. And then Triumph of a Heart. That was pretty. Final track on the album. I'm expecting it to be batshit crazy, but what do I know? Yep. 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 It's gonna be crazy. Okay. Let me just go back. Let me go back.
The nerves are sending shimmering signal all through my fingers. The veins support blood that gushes impulsively toward
Build up almost.
the triumph of a heart that gives up, that gives up. The triumph of a heart that gives up, that gives up.
This is like very dance-like. I was not expecting that.
These lacks of mine serve as pathways for my
Really fun production. That's sick. I actually wish that went harder. You know what I mean? Dude, that was very interesting. I was not expecting that that level of production as well. But you know what I mean with that hook setup? Like, it sometimes feels like the build up for the hook is going to be big, or is bigger than the actual hook itself. Something about like the pace feels actually like slower than you're expecting. And I feel like with the lack of like, and this isn't a me talking about like I hate this song. It's just a thing I noticed that I actually just wish that it was more energetic and there was more things going on in the hook that made it a little more interesting. I enjoy it, but again, it's not my favorite. I do really like the beatboxing and the very, very cool, dance feel to it. And it definitely is Bjork outside of her comfort zone. And this whole album could be, a testament to Bjork outside of her comfort zone a little bit. But it's still Bjork at her very best. Like, she has used choirs and stuff like that before, but there's still a lot of different things here. I want to mention about the hooks, too. I mentioned this earlier, particularly in Who Is It, but it definitely feels like the hooks are like... this album feels more centered around, like, a pop structure than even some of her earlier albums. Not including Debut. I feel like that one was the most poppy that she has ever necessarily done in terms of this more mainstream sound, I guess you could say. But I just noticed that the hooks were very, very catchy and melodically different from what she usually does. Yeah, so you have the throat singing in the first track, which I really, really enjoyed, and Ancestors as well. Really enjoyed that. I wish actually we heard a little bit more of that on the album, but the beatboxing in many tracks really brought the energy. Yeah, choirs doing tracks full a cappella, super, super good. This is a very creative album, one of her most creative albums so far, if not her absolute most. This feels different from anything she's ever done before. Does feel like it marks a different era in Bjork, that I really, really enjoy. It feels like, I feel like I did enjoy this album a lot more than, even an album like maybe Post or Homogenic on first listen, which is surprising to me. But I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this whole record. I was expecting it to be a lot more laid back than this whole album actually was. But this is a fantastic album that I think a lot of people probably have at one of their favorite Bjork albums. I wouldn't be surprised. It feels like one of those where like you either hate this album or you love it. It feels like a very divisive album in Bjork's discography. But I personally really like this on first listen, and it's one of my favorite albums with a first listen. A lot of her albums take a couple more listens to really appreciate, but this one actually, in my opinion, is one that, for the most part, it hits you right away. My favorite tracks I would have at Pleasure Is All Mine is a good one. Where Is the Line is great. Vokuro. Who Is It? Desired Constellation. Maybe Mouse Cradle. I feel like the back half of this album is... I don't want to say less strong, but my favorite songs come in the earlier half of the album. From tracks 1 to, say, 9, I would say quite strong. And then the back half are probably some songs that I'm going to have to come back to. Not necessarily bad at all. Just songs that haven't quite hit me yet. But such an intriguing listen. There is so much more to talk about. The lyricism is fantastic. Some of the meanings behind these songs are incredible. She really dives deep into certain things, particularly like maternal things, which I really liked, breastfeeding, being a provider, that kind of thing, which I thought was really cool, plus a bunch of other things. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this album, but it is a very, very strong Bjork album. Crazy. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below about this album. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. Next is, what's next? Okay, let me go back. Oh, I hate Spotify, bro. Why do they, when they do albums, when I go to show all, it doesn't give me the blocked view anymore. See, it gives me track by track, and I don't want that. Sorry, guys. Vespertine, we did. You know what? I'll figure it out. Next one, I don't know what the next one is. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy it all, as always. Stay tuned for the next album reaction. I will see you guys in the next one.